I had to overcome, um, I'm a survivor of childhood sexual abuse. Um, Suffered from a man who was basically in a father figure position to me. That was between the ages of 11 and 13. I kept it secret for many, many, many years. And I was contacted actually by the police because someone else had come forward with charges against the man. And I was named obviously as a possible victim. So I didn't hesitate to come forward at that time. So that pretty much initiated the court process because there was a second person. Um, Sadly to say, corroborating the story of the first person. So it started a 2-year court process with charges against him, numerous charges. And it was a difficult process at the start because no one except for my husband knew what had happened. So, and I kind of thought ahead in my head that, charging this man and making him accountable would fix everything. And I quickly learned that that was not the case at all. Because even though we went through the court process, he pled guilty to charges. He did plea bargain, so some of the charges got dropped, but some of them remained. And he did serve time. He only got 6 months in jail, but got out on good behavior in 4 months. And he got 2 years probation and 10 years on the sex offender list. So I kind of thought after that, everything would be good. But it wasn't. I still, that obviously brought up a whole bunch of other things of, everything that I've been hiding, emotions, depression, anxiety. I struggled through school for many years because I was hiding this fact. So I did have to go for counseling. I didn't think that there really was anything anyone could tell me because I had already, in my mind dealt with it because I charged him. We went to court. He was convicted. He pled guilty. What could anyone tell me that would make this any better? But I had to relearn learn how to live, learn how to deal with my triggers, and really, really dig up stuff that I buried deep down because at that time, I thought burying it and not talking about it would be easier than telling my story or getting some help with it. That obviously was not the easy route that I took for many years. A lot of people talk about addictions for survivors. We get addicted to things that make us feel better and make us, help us forget what happened. And you can never forget what happened. It's never going to go away. It's always going to be there. But we just have to learn a new way of living, and moving forward and maybe coming up with something good from that trauma. So reading about sexual abuse, the first book I read, Courage to Heal by Ellen Bass, that was the first book, and it made me just really stop and think so many times about, what, I'm not crazy. What I'm feeling is real. I'm not alone. And that really stood out to me. So when I found out about a book that was being created by Lisa Browning through 1000trees.com about women writing their stories, I was like, you know what, I need to do this, because if I can help just one person know that they're not alone, help them validate their feelings, validate what they're going through, then you know what, that would make me so happy, because I know that how I felt when I realized I was not alone. So I agreed to write in the book. The writing process was I don't want to say traumatic, but it did bring up a lot of things again. Obviously, you're going through your story in detail and bringing up those emotions and those memories and the triggers. And then hitting send when I was finished that story took me quite a while to hit that button, because then it was like, you know what, my story is out there. Once you hit send, it can't be undone. So that made me really nervous. But then getting the validation from Lisa of my story and the emotion in it and the rawness, and how much it would potentially help other people, that made me feel like I did my duty, I did my job, that other people, wherever they were in the world, knew that they weren't alone. So it just, that part of it was very healing to me, even though it was it felt like I was doing it all over again and going through everything again. It was very healing to actually write everything down and allow myself to process it and sit with it. I didn't talk greatly about the court process. That's kind of something I would still like to do in helping people through that process, because there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I think a lot of information that gets left out of what that process is going to look like and how long that process is going to take. It is, if anyone's ever had any dealings with court cases, they take a very long time. And ours was 2 years, almost to the day, that he was finally sentenced, from the date it began. So it was a process that was not expected. So having that information, and working with, I hope to work with survivors to encourage them to go through that process, and help try and resolve some of the pain that they have, and start holding, I don't want to say men, but people that abuse other people or children, hold them accountable for what they did, and not let them get away with it. As painful as that process is, I think it's super healing. Well, I hope that my legacy is, like I said, letting people know they're not alone. Through the book, I created an award that is given to a local high school student graduating grade 12. And it's an award that is not based on grades. It's not based on popularity. It's not based on how long they took to get to their high school graduation. I didn't want it to matter if they took 4 years or if they took 6 years or 8 years. I wanted to acknowledge it's a female student. I wanted to acknowledge that female student for overcoming whatever challenges life had for them during their life, whether it be elementary school or high school or both. And let her know that she matters and that she deserves recognition, that she overcame those barriers and made it to her grade 12 graduation. So I give my award consists of a certificate in a frame, a copy of the first book of Sharing, and I also give $100 award to put towards whatever they want. I tell them they can go buy some clothes for themselves, or they can go, pamper themselves for the day, or put it towards their post-secondary school, whatever they want to do for themselves. And I just want them to be acknowledged, because most awards go to graduating students that are like top of the class, or the most popular, or, been in sports or something like that. So I didn't want any of that to matter. I just wanted to know that she matters, and, she should be proud of herself for making it through the life challenges and making it to her grade 12 graduation. So I'm this June, I'll be presenting my 10th award. And I do it strictly on my own now. We didn't get rich from the books, but that's okay. And I chose to continue presenting my award. I now do it in person as well, instead of at grade 12 graduation, because I felt graduation kind of took away from the moment. It's just a very quick process that you're on stage handing the award. And I just wanted it to be personal. I wanted to tell the student about our book, and really get part of her story if she wanted to share it. And just let her know that she matters. And, I don't know her, but I'm super proud of her for getting that far. So I hope that, my plans are to continue that as long as I possibly can. And I hoped also to be part of the Recovery Speaking Initiative to start a women's support group.
Well, that's fantastic, Wendy. And thank you for your story. Thank you for coming here today and explaining a little bit of your backstory, what you're doing now, and how you're helping other people in the community. We appreciate it. And I know that the people that will be watching this soon very much appreciate it. And again, we thank you very much for that. That's great.
Thank you for having me.